Something strange is happening right now. For years, you had people leaving Christianity in droves. Deconstruction was everywhere and spirituality was replacing organized religion. And now, people are heading straight back. We got mainstream podcasts hosting apologists like Wes Huff. A year ago he was on Joe Rogan. 9 months ago he was on Andrew Schultz. And just a couple days ago he was on Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. So it raises a question, what's changed? What's kind of interesting to me now is that podcasts are reshaping the way that we think and the things that we know more than churches now. If you look into it like I did, there's about 65 to 80 million churchgoers weekly, and that fluctuates depending on the time of year. People that only go for Easter and Christmas. And then there's a solid 150 million weekly listeners of podcasts. That's 1.5 to 2 times the amount of people that listen to podcasts and go to church. And for a lot of people, just listening to a sermon, just listening to someone like that on a podcast is kind of replaced, going to church. Raise your hand if that's you. I see you back there. But we got podcasters like Lex Friedman, we got Joe Rogan, of course. We've got people like Andrew Huberman. These people and their podcasts kind of help us to feel like we are in on the leading edge of, thoughts, ideas, cultural movements, and science. And here's the very important thing to realize. These podcasts award people who are confident, who have clear thoughts about a subject and clear arguments about it, and have a strong ability to tell a narrative. And that's super important because humans at our core are storytelling machines. The interesting thing too that I don't think we don't stop to pause and think about is the reason that these podcasters sound and feel so convincing to us, right? There's limited nuance within these conversations. Yes, you do get a lot more information than you would in a soundbite, but also if you think about it, you don't really get as much information on that one subject as you would if you just would read one book on it. Also, fact checking is pretty minimal on these podcasts. I mean, you have Joe Rogan being like, hey Jamie, pull that up to see if that's really true. But let's kind of be honest about that. Mostly Joe Rogan pulls hey Jamie, pull that video up of that gorilla fighting that bear.
Did you see that guy accidentally hit that moose with his car?
No.
Holy shit. Jamie, pull that video.
Another thing about podcasts and their guests that I feel like we really still get sucked in by is the charisma of the podcaster, sort of the cult of personality, right? Public speaking ability and charm will always land podcasts. So someone like Wes Huff can seem and feel extremely compelling, right? I mean, he's already done all the research for us, right? The really interesting thing here is that we are seeing New Age people, we're seeing agnostic people, and in some cases too, we're seeing atheists going back to Christianity. Not a new and reformed, in most cases, version of Christianity, just that good old traditional, fundamental, certainty-driven form version of Christianity that they left in the first place. Now here's what I really think's going on underneath all of this. Humans crave certainty in times where life feels very unstable. When we are unsure of what's going to happen, or where we're going to go when the world ends in one big mushroom cloud, it's really easy to return to a previous way of thinking or to retreat into safety, whether that is physically, we might go into a bunker, or what happens if we do that mentally too? Right? It's an interesting question, right? Do we go to the storm shelter of our minds in times like these? Because if you think about it, we are going through the biggest change in modern history yet. We've got political and economic uncertainty. With that comes a lot of cultural conflict. We've got decentralized currencies now. We've got technological advancement at an ever increasingly rapid scale. We've got AI disruption. People are losing their jobs over here because of robots. And that all leads to an identity crisis. Where do I fit into this whole new thing that's happening and going on? When the world feels very chaotic, I think we can a lot of times turn back to these systems of belief and potentially retreat into them because it feels safe, like I said before. You may not be one of these people, but realize that that could be a thing for people. We're retreating into beliefs that made us feel safe, not because they're necessarily true, because we can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that they're true, not because it's helpful, and not even because it worked well in the past, because if it had, you wouldn't be returning to it, right? It's just because a lot of times of how it makes us feel safe. Now, I want to be clear. I don't think that the important question that I want to ask in this video is Christianity true or not, right? I'm not even sure that that's an important question at all, but that is for another video. I think the important question is, are we choosing what we believe because it is a choice? Are we choosing what we believe based off of fear, out of fear, or based out of growth and love and moving forward? Forward momentum in motion. As Martin Luther, the spearhead of the Protestant Reformation, once said, Christianity is ever in need of reform. So I want to challenge you to think about this. If you're going to go back to Christianity, go back to it on your own terms. Go back a more informed person than you were when you left, right? Because a lot of times you went on a journey there when you left, right? And that journey taught you things about what you used to think and what you think now and what you believe now, about what's really important, about what all the things that need to be burned away from our old ways of thinking are, right? Don't just go back. Carry those things with you, right? Because that voice within you, that internal compass, that your intuition, it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you that something wasn't working. You didn't leave because you were, in most cases, disabused or misled by the devil, right? You left because you were probably just trying to be a better person. You can see the flaws because there are many of them of the church, and you wanted to distance yourself from that, right? If you're going to get close to that again, right? Be a change that you wanted to see before you left, right? You can be that changing agent. There are so many denominations of Christianity, and there's so many things that you can believe within Christianity, right? There are people that don't believe in evolution, like Wes Huff within Christianity, right? There are people that do believe in evolution and also believe in God, and they're Christians. Look at those two options. Don't believe in evolution, do believe in evolution. There's a huge moment that we need to look within ourselves if we say, those people that do believe in evolution, they're not really Christians. Really. Does it say in the Bible that you're not allowed to believe in evolution? You're not allowed to believe in science if you're a Christian? Does it say you're gonna get kicked out of God's favor and you're gonna go to hell for that? These are important questions to ask, right? If you're really gonna go back thoughtfully and consciously. But I want to end with this. You can go back, but you can also change. And you have the ability not to just change yourself, but by living your life as an example, you have the ability to change others as well. If you liked this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe. And if you got something to say, that's what the comments section is for. I'll see you there.